Hello and welcome to my channel. I thought after going through all the dominant seventh chords and showing you all the different types that you can play a chord up the neck, it would be a good idea to go through the major scales and show the fingerings for the major scales following the caged system. You can go back to my earlier videos. There's a 4-part series on just laying out the theory behind it. There's a lot of things in there that I don't really want you to play. I'm just explaining where the chords are coming from. And then there's a longer series about how to use that knowledge in learning the dominant seventh chords on the neck and applying that to a blues form. This series will be about the major scale and giving you different exercises, going through all the positions again. Each position will get a video, and in each one we're going to do a different exercise that you can do on the major scale. To start us out, I'm going to go to the key of D, and for D I would start down here with a D chord in D type, and if I go up the neck one type in the cage system, I have a C type. So this is where I want to start here in second position, and we're doing a D major scale. And all you have to know right now is this fingering that I'm showing you here, and also in a PDF if you want. I'm just going to call out the frets. On the E string it's 2, 3, 5. On the A string it's 2, 4, 5. Same on the D string, 2, 4, 5. 2 and 4 on the G string. On the B string it's 2, 3, and 5. And on the high E string, same as on the low E string, 2, 3, and 5. Okay, so this is the fingering that you want to get yourself familiar with. And to do that, we're going to use this exercise that Barry Harris taught us in class in New York City, where he goes through the whole scale and starts on each degree. And the way he structures it is you have to play in rhythm. You play in eighth notes, and you will end up playing 2-bar phrases. At first, we're just going to go and play 5 notes. So if I go up 5 notes, I'm going to start on D to just get the tonality. I'm not going to start on the lowest note, which of course you can, but for now we're going to start on D, so you really get the sound of D major in your head. So I go up 5 notes, it will be, and I come right back down without playing the top one twice. So the sound is like this. And what that gives you is, if you count it in eighth notes, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. So you land on the first beat of the second bar. And then you have 3 beats rest, and in the third bar you start your phrase on the next note of the scale. So you go 2, 3, 4. And so on, until you get all the way up to the top. So I'm taking my metronome here. It's the Quark KDM2. Put it in 105, and I told it to give me 4 beats to a bar. So the first beat of each bar gets an accent. You can hear 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, Now I reached the top, so I'm gonna come down. I could go backwards. I could say like this. right now I want to do coming down from the top. So I go from the highest note down 5 notes and I come back up. 3, 4. And of course, you will go through the whole fingering and adjust the tempo to where it makes sense for you. If this is too fast, slow it down. If this is too slow, go up in tempo. Just make sure you're playing those 2-bar phrases. If I have a student that's a bit more advanced and he can already play this, I might go up to, let's say, 150 beats. And we do the same thing. 1, 2, 3, 4. 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. And you get to really know your fingering. You get to have this under your fingers because you went through it from every note. So the next exercise would be I take 7 notes in the scale and I go 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3. So now I'm almost filling up the whole of the 2 bars. I'm going the whole first bar and then 1 and 2 and 3 of the second bar. So I end on beat 3 in bar 2 and the beat 4 in bar 2 is left as a rest. And then I start again in the next bar on the first beat, on 1 note higher in the scale. So let me slow it down a little bit. So here's 120 beats, and I go 7 notes up and right back down. And then I start on the next note in the scale. I will start on D, and then on E, and then on F sharp. But the names of the notes are not so important to you right now. If you know them, that's good. But if not, just start on the next note that will be in the fingering. 1, 2, 3, 4. And this would be as far as I can go in this fingering. If I want to go up higher, I would have to be in a different fingering. So, but we want to just stay in our fingering so we get to know these really, really well. And then, so the last phrase I was able to do was going up from the B, and now I come back down and do the same thing, going down 7 notes. Okay, take it up, let's say 140. Again, if this is too fast, the speed at first doesn't matter at all. We're working on trying to really get these under our fingers and at the same time have something where we can increase the tempo and be more technically adept in playing faster lines. So this is 140 beats, and I'm going down 7 notes. 1, 2, So now this time I went all the way down and played the lower notes too, so as far as I could go. I think it's a good thing to start on the D so that you relate it to the key of D. Once you've done these kind of exercises, you can go ahead and just look for some backing tracks on YouTube that say D major backing track. There's some good ones that just go through like basic chords of a key, and you can play with the whole scale. You can play over those chords. I do this with all my students. When they first learn the fingering, they get these couple of exercises so that they can train their fingers a little bit, and then I want them to start right away, because if you use your ears while you're playing, and you might not even be all that fast yet, then you do yourself a good service, because you're training your ears. You see there's a chord, and now you land on a certain note, and you either like it or not, and then you land on the same note and the chord is changed, and you realize, okay, now this note sounds different over this next chord. So it's really a form of ear training that you're doing. You can combine the technical training of learning your scales with also training your ear and having some fun improvising over those tracks. This was D. You go from D, you could go E or F, and just use a backing track for that key. Say F major backing track, and you have the same fingering, but you're doing it here in 5th position. So enjoy and improvise and practice. See you soon.